Well, today it's supposed to be snowing up to a foot later this week. That's what I plow with. Wife's four-wheeler, Sportsman 570 Special Edition. A little bit beefier springs in the rear. I know it has a sway bar. I don't know if standards do. The biggest difference is true A-arm front suspension instead of the McPherson struts. After our last trip to Tennessee, she got a little wild with it. Ripped the plastic rack off. Had this one pretty well tacoed. I found this as a complete unit with the plastic and the bar for 185 bucks on Partzilla. If you're interested in that, I can look up the part number and put it in the link. This is just off a newer 450 utility, I think it was. Steel rack. It bolts in place of the plastic one, but it actually gives you somewhere to grab, somewhere to tie down, a couple nice flat spots to keep stuff. But we got some clicky CV axles, so I'm gonna get set up here, see if I can do this in one shot. Step one, make sure you get a really secure way to support your four-wheeler off the ground. My jack's out in the yard and it's 0 degrees. I didn't feel like carrying it. Take off the tires, obviously, and get set up here and we'll get into it. Well, step one, once you're here, which is step 3 really, I guess, is to remember that Polaris is made in America and everything is standard size, not metric. Pound out the keyway, or the retaining clip, key, whatever, hairpin. Take a pair of side cutters, dikes, squeeze it, lift up, rolls right out. Get the right size wrench. Leave it in park so you can leverage against it. Take the castle nut off, throw that across the shop somewhere. Take off your little washers. Take your 14 millimeter. Remember, I said everything's standard. 14 wrench or 9/16. That kind of. Take that off. Tip that down. Where'd that go? $17 millimeter. Remove your 2 lower bolts. Take some needle nose pliers. What do I need for this? Then you got little bushings back here. You want to try and grab them carefully. Wiggling the spindle. Pull them out. One on each side. Come on. There you go. Oh yeah, this side falls off because there's not a brake rotor on this side. But yeah, so that fell off. Anyway, now this rolls right out. You have your bearing assembly, of which a guy should probably grease, but we've only got like 500, 600 miles on this. As you can tell, it's a clean second owner, never been beat, only driven on Sundays to church. All UP miles. On the other side, I figured out that if you take, 9/16, also known as 14, the correct size wrench for this, take your sway bar off. Make sure you hold all of these little rubber rubber bushings in here because they go flying across the shop. I like to put everything back on the floor. Now, put it all back together how it goes. Take the bolt out, set it down, just so you don't forget. Wedge that up out of the way. And then for the fun part, you grab the end of your CV axle. Make sure your four-wheeler's not going to go anywhere. Usually works better when your CV is not completely blown out. Use your CV like a slide hammer though, and you just have to press a C-clip for retention that holds it into the differential. Cut. Okay, after some few kind words, and definitely not ramming a pry bar in there because that's how you break your differential. I think we got her on the run now. Okay, thought I did. Smokes. Yeah, falls out just like that. See, you just yank it. Right out it comes. All you're trying to do, there's a little C-clip around here that's spring-loaded in there. Very little grease. A lot of guys say don't run any grease in there, but as you can see, dry sucks. So, come over to your Amazon special box of all East Lake CV axles. New castle nut, new washer. You don't want those on there right now. Blind guard for shipping, because those guys are very careful when they deliver all your boxes. They never come smushed, crashed, or banged up. I like to take some high performance marine grease, just glob it in there. Looks good enough for me. Snake it back in there. you're fighting that C-clip. You put the castle nut back on when you can't get it. Just enough to where you're tapping on the nut, not the threads. I swear the other side went a lot easier, I promise. Looks like my C-clip is fighting me here. Okay. Time out, regroup. So upon further inspection, looks like it's rather grody in there. So spray it out with some brake cleaner. Use it like somebody else paid for it. Run your pick around inside the little grooves. If you have enough patience, make sure you get every little groove. Run it around the ridge of where that spring clip needs to be depressed. Some more grease on it for good luck. So I ended up taking the sway bar bracket off. So I get the right angle, maybe work it a little more. There you go, seat view. There we go. Just light little taps. Evidently taking that sway bar link off allowed me to get the upper A-arm all the way up out of the way, get the right angle of the dangle, and push the C-clip right in there. So yeah, that's in now. Let's see if I can get this foot back together here. Yep. Take your lightly abused castle nut off. Grease the inner bearings, if you please. I'm not going to do that right now. Screwdriver. Put this back on. Take your little bushings. You can see that these have a little bit of a wear ridge. Guy that was really worried about it would probably replace these. I'm just going to smear some grease on it, pretend I didn't see them. Slide that one in. Same thing, this one's got some rust and a little ridge. Now it's fixed. Now for the bolts. I really like using the gel Loctite, minus the floor dirt. It stays where you want it. You can scrub it in. Doesn't ooze all over the floor when you forget to put the top on and it tips over. Run it in with your little impact if you want. Snug her down to specified torque spec that somebody probably knows. Take a little grease, put it on your splines. Yeah, grease holds dirt though. Whatever. I'd rather have it be a little wet than a little dry. Get that lined up. Come on. Probably shouldn't be doing this. Just little love taps. Take your washer, slap that on. Oh! Hold this whole thing together. Pull out your little upper bushing. Put some more grease on it and make you feel a little better about it. Bring your upper control arm back down. Make sure your bushing's centered so it lines right up smooth. Take your upper bolt. Sway bar. That looks like it had Loctite on it. Get a little goob on there. Start it by hand. Get your 14/9/16. Make sure that's tight. Same thing, 9/16. Proper torque spec. Put that back on. finding your crescent wrench. And on castle nuts, they got little dimples for your new key, hair clip, arc clip. You want to get that lined up with your hole. Stick your new clip in there. I like to get them sunk down in there good. Fold it over, put your wheel back on. Onto the front.